Good evening, everybody. So, San Francisco is suing major food companies. These are companies that produce highly processed foods. They are called UPFs, ultra processed foods, actually. So, if you hear me saying UPF, then that's what I'm saying. I don't know if a lot of you are aware, but back in the 60s, 70s, RJ Reynolds and Philip Morris, which are huge tobacco companies, they actually bought quite a few food companies. And with that being said, they used the same technology and knowledge that they were using to produce the tobacco products to produce these food products. All right, so UPFs actually change the way your body breaks down food totally and not in a good way. It actually causes obesity and diabetes as well. And overwhelmingly, they affect underprivileged communities and lower income communities and communities of color. Especially where there are places like food deserts, and of course, there are naturally going to be food deserts in places where the income is low. And with that, you have an issue finding fresh food or farm to table food, and that's a whole nother issue. Something I wanted to bring your attention to is a show called Hunters. This show stars Al Pacino. It ran from 2020 to about 2023, and it talks about a barrage of things, from Operation Paperclip to the Holocaust to underprivileged communities and things like that. And one of the things they were talking about is how they purposely created and pushed high fructose corn syrup in products that went into African American communities. So that was a banger and an eye opener. Sad, but you can see it everywhere. You can just look at the packaging. You can see the labels on these things. But another thing is that a lot of those products, food products, they targeted children. And you know that if you get someone as a child, you got them for life and you have a lifetime client and customer. And they did the same thing for tobacco as well. In years and years ago, they would use like cartoon characters and things like that to push their products. And they did the same thing for these UPF foods as well, and bioengineered foods. So you have things like gummy snacks and Pop Tarts and cheese products and a lot of things like that, that target these kids, and these children love it and they get addicted to this stuff and they know it. So some of these things on the shelf in the United States are actually banned in other countries. So actually, if you all have heard that a couple weeks ago, a Campbell's executive got caught on a hot mic talking about the fact that his company produces food for poor people. Now, that's something sad to say, crazy, but hey, it is what it is, and we know that because if food is cheap and it's on the shelf, it's ready made and it's processed, we already know what comes with that. And if something is in a package in some type of preset packaging, it's technically processed because somebody had to get it and put it in there. Somebody in, there's probably chemicals on it to keep it preserved. So all of us are almost always eating some type of chemical, whether we know it we're not or not. We just can do the best that we can. And I heard a saying that if a product has any more than 3 to 4 ingredients, you probably shouldn't be eating it. But yeah, RJ Reynolds and Philip Morris, they bought a number of food companies. Now, RJ Reynolds bought Nabisco and Del Monte, and Philip Morris bought General Foods and Kraft. So, if you want to think about it, those products being made by those companies are actually, subsidiaries of tobacco companies. Like, do you want tobacco companies making your food, right? Like, this is stuff that it's just unbelievable, but at the same time not surprising. And if you look on the back of a lot of these foods, they do say bioengineered. Unfortunately, a lot of these quick grab foods and snacks and stuff like that, stuff that kids actually love. So a few of these companies that are actually being sued by the city of San Francisco are Kraft, Heinz, ConAgra, Pepsi, Nestle, Kellogg, Coca-Cola, General Mills, Mars, and ConAgra. All right, so a lot of those names I'm sure is familiar, and two of them is, a little sad because you have General Mills and Kellogg's, and they produce a lot of, and even Nestle, they produce a lot of foods that are geared towards children, like cereal or baby food and formula and stuff like that, right? So that's an eye opener. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that all to your attention. I actually saw this. I think it's on the Forbes YouTube page, and they were talking about the fact that about 2 weeks ago, San Francisco made that announcement that they will be pursuing these companies and dropping a lawsuit about you know, the things that are in these foods that's not healthy, and they're causing all of these different diseases and ailments and problems, you know, like type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, and a barrage of other issues as well, which can lead to premature death. So I just find it interesting, and I wanted to see if any other cities are going to pursue this and follow suit as well. Would be interesting to see. And like I said, the things that we are able and allowed to consume in this country is absolutely, it is crazy. I mean, even to the dyes and the colorings and some of these chemicals that are in food that are actually in cleaning products and other things, you know, like that we are allowed to consume. And we have the FDA and stuff like that, and other protection agencies. But we have to do our best and be vigilant about, you know, reading packaging, and you know, it's hard because we live in a hustle and bustle, very competitive and capitalistic society, and we're almost always on the go. But as much as you can, just be careful about that. And it was just interesting to see, you know, them take such a big stand like that and drop that lawsuit. But let me know what you all think, and you be blessed.